Hello YouTube, my name is The Legend of DS, and welcome to my part 2, my second part, technically speaking, part 2 of my predictions video for Nintendo's E3 digital event. And right now, I can say digital event since it's been confirmed that there's gonna be on June 16th Nintendo's digital event. It's not going to be a press conference like there was from 2012 and before. It's not going to be a Nintendo Direct like in 2013. It's going to be a digital event, much like what happened last year. They announced all of their plans for E3 during a very good video directed by Mega64. Mega64 obviously did the video for last year. They did it also for this year, and the video was pretty good. Basically confirming all the plans. So all we'll be getting is the exact same as last year, except there's going to be a switch. Some switches. There's going to be obviously the digital event at the same time as last year on Tuesday. Then we're also going to have the coverage coming from the Treehouse, which apparently is going to be bigger than last year. We're also going to have, obviously, the Best Buy events are going to continue. This year is going to be Mario Maker instead of Smash, obviously. And the final bit, this is where the real change happened. Last year we had the Nintendo Smash Bros. Invitational Tournament. This year we're going to have an event that it's poorly made, or not poorly made, poorly named in my opinion. It's going to be the Nintendo World Championships. Sure, it sounds like a nice project and it's going to be cool to see, but there's one tiny problem. It cannot be a World Championships if you need to be in the United States to qualify. But that's completely beside the point. So for this video, I will be making some predictions, final predictions, and talk about some rumors that have been flying around since the last video. First and foremost, let's start with the not rumored but confirmed by Iwata. We now have confirmation from Iwata that Nintendo will be releasing more unannounced titles before the end of the financial year. The financial year for this year ends on March 31st, 2016. So there's going to be more unannounced titles coming from E3 until then. The first game that has come out since, technically speaking, the first game that has come out since then, since the beginning of this financial year, has been Xenoblade Chronicles X in Japan, Kirby and Codenames Team in Europe, and by the end of the month, or in a couple of days, in 10 days actually, from the time I'm recording this video, Splatoon. Then, in June, we're going to have Yoshi in Europe. There's no release date for the rest of the world, which is pretty weird. But if we continue this trend, Xenoblade Chronicles should come in a month or two later. And then what? We know Star Fox is going to be at some point or another for Wii U. We know there's going to be more Smash DLC, maybe more Mario Kart DLC, but we have nothing until beginning of not beginning, but the end of March. Sure, we're gonna have, aside from those, we're gonna have Mario Maker, we're gonna have Fatal Frame, Devil's Third, apart from Xenoblade and Yoshi's Woolly World, and 3DS only has one major game, that's Fire Emblem If as of right now. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem will only come out in Japan this year, most likely at the early next year, but what else can they bring? What will be their holiday title? In my opinion, this is a good transition to the first game that I feel like, a game that I didn't talk about in my previous video that I completely forgot, is Animal Crossing. I feel that Animal Crossing is definitely going to be at E3. I forgot to mention Animal Crossing in the previous video, but I believe either early this year or late last year, I believe it was late last year, that the team behind Animal Crossing New Leaf and then Animal Crossing Plaza on the Wii U said that they have news for Animal Crossing coming this year. So Animal Crossing coming to the Wii U is almost a certainty at this point. There's really nothing else for Animal Crossing. I think the Animal Crossing is going to be not only for Wii U, but it's going to utilize the amiibo cards. I remember hearing on a video, I forget which video it was, where it was also a prediction videos, and I completely agree with what they said about Animal Crossing New Leaf, not a New Leaf, the Animal Crossing Wii U using the amiibo cards, and just from what I understand, because I don't play Animal Crossing, when you start a game and play with a new town, every the animals that are in the town are randomized, or you have to do certain things to get each animal. I don't know. I don't play Animal Crossing. I have never played Animal Crossing, but that's for what I understand, the base of what I understand from the game. If that's true, then utilizing the amiibo cards to have all the animals you want in your town would be a really good use for the amiibo cards, and also having an amiibo deck, let's put it that way, amiibo card set, and only utilize it for one 3DS game seems very, very weird, at the very least to me. Now let's move on to another game. This game I have actually talked in my previous video, but I completely forgot about it. Not completely forgot. Some new, not new information, but some stuff has come out for the game. Or not for the game, but tiny hints that have upped the possibility of us seeing the game at E3 or being announced for Wii U or for 3DS. And the reason I say this is the game that I'm mentioning, actually, I should say before, is F-Zero. Simply by the fact of F-Zero is the franchise that outside of Mario has gotten more tracks in Mario Kart 8. Sure, they came at DLC with Mute City and Big Blue, but why 2 tracks? Why did F-Zero get the 2 tracks treatment when Zelda and Animal Crossing, the 2 big franchises that were the crossovers with Mario Kart, that were the ones advertised from the beginning, only got 1 each? I mean, we only have Hyrule Circuit and Animal Crossing, and F-Zero has Mute City and Big Blue. To me, it feels like there's a 50-50% chance of this is gonna amount to nothing. To the other 50% is they're making an F-Zero game. The last 2 F-Zero games did not sell all that well. No matter how many people believe that they do, it's exactly like Metroid. People have the idea that Metroid is this big system seller and sells like millions upon millions, when in fact Star Fox has more sales and fewer games, I believe. I could be wrong in the terms of games, but I do believe it has more sales, with I believe the first Star Fox game having 4 million or 64 having 4 million, I forget. And I feel like F-Zero, the having tracks on Mario Kart to the 5 million plus would be a way to introduce those players to the franchise and saying, hey, look at these tracks, listen to the music, this is F-Zero, look, and especially with 200cc, it's more like F-Zero, and just say at the 3 come out, like, you know, we saw the tracks in Mario Kart, you enjoy them, here's the new F-Zero. Sure, this might be a huge slippery slope of like, there's this, so this might happen. I feel like F-Zero is a 50-50 chance as of right now to appear at E3 and being announced either for Wii U or for the 3DS. Now I really want to talk about one rumor, and it's probably the only rumor I'll talk about. Actually, one of 2 rumors I'll talk about, given something that came out yesterday, on the 18th, I believe, either the 18th or the 17th, I forget when it came out, and I heard about this yesterday, but the other rumor, not this one. This one has been around for a week, is that Paper Mario is being made for Wii U by Intelligent Systems. Now, the way this rumor has come out is supposedly in Japan there was this game, not game jam, job expo, I believe, where there were people there from intelligence systems, and one guy that went to the intelligence systems booth. The guy from the intelligence system gave him the pamphlet from intelligence systems and casually mentions that their intelligence systems is working on Paper Mario U. Now I never want to believe rumors, and this one I especially don't believe it. When the Rayman leak, for example, for Smash came out, I was like, this is fake. Then the video came out, I'm like, this is still fake. There's still more to prove. For example, the announcer doesn't say Rayman or Mewtwo, and why doesn't he show us Mewtwo? But that's beside the point. And with this one, I'm even more like, why are people believing this? Why do people believe leaks all the time? For one simple, and the reason I don't believe this is for one simple reason. Intelligent Systems might be a good studio, but they're not that big. According to Wikipedia, they have 130 employees, and they just released Codename Steam. They are releasing in a few months, or in a month and a half in Japan, I believe, Fire Emblem If. By the end of the year, they're going to release in Japan a crossover and a collaboration title. Sure, it's working with someone else, but still they're working on Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. And I believe late last year, they released Pushmo for the Wii U. It just seems like a bunch of games for a team of 100, for a studio of 130. I mean, it's 5 games basically. They have been plus Paper Mario for Wii U. I really have my doubts. If it is for next year, sure, but for this year, no way. There's no way they're working on it. There's no way. I refuse to believe. Now, the second rumor I want to talk about is something that came out yesterday, or on the 17th, I don't know, or last week. I just found out about this yesterday. Is that Best Buy has Wii U and Nintendo 3DS E3 dummy bundles, I believe. It's dummy bundles, which has led people to believe that there are going to be Wii U and 3DS bundles announced at E3. This is practically obvious that they're going to do it. Why? Simple. Xenoblade Chronicles X is probably going to get its own Wii U bundle. They're going to probably announce the game and say, hey, the game's coming out in August in the United States and probably in Europe, and it's going to come with the bundle. It's going to be the Xenoblade Chronicles X bundle, and probably Star Fox could be receiving one as well. For 3DS, however, I don't think there's any games coming out for the 3DS has been announced apart from Fire Emblem If, but Fire Emblem If only comes out next year. So they might be announcing maybe Pokemon could be receiving a new bundle. I mean, Pokemon, according to Famitsu, Pokemon is going to be revealed a new Pokemon game on the 21st of May. So that's in 2 days. If Pokemon is in fact announced, a new Pokemon game is in fact announced for the 3DS, maybe they can give us a bundle, announce a bundle, but it seems too far off. Maybe they will announce a new game, and it's fishy, but you never know. Next, I want to talk about the Super Smash Brothers quote-unquote leaks of Ryu and Roy being added to Super Smash Brothers as DLC. Now, again, I didn't believe the Rayman legend, and that had tons of evidence pointing towards being real, and then it was proven fake, and I patted myself on the back. I'm going to say the exact same thing for this one. I don't buy it, for the simple fact that while Ryu and the theme song and the song from Street Fighter 2 being in Smash would require Nintendo to get the rights to Ryu and to get him in, the song to get in, and it wouldn't be Trolley from Sakurai, but Roy would definitely be a Sakurai move. Just be like, yeah, put Roy in, put the Fire Emblem theme, and make people that are gonna definitely hack this believe that Roy is coming back and not coming back. I don't believe that Roy will be in the game. I think it's a waste of a character this will be the first time I will actually say this is a waste and this is taking a spot from somebody else, because Roy, nobody that likes Fire Emblem, nobody that plays Fire Emblem likes Roy. The only people that like Roy are his fans from Melee, or people that played Melee before they played Fire Emblem. And even then, they're like not gonna reveal that. Yeah, we don't like him. He's not that good of a character. He's probably the worst lord in the Fire Emblem franchise, which is saying something. But still, continuing on the Ryu thing. My previous video, I believe I said that if Smash 4 is gonna get more DLC, like we knew, then at E3 they were gonna announce Wolf making a return, since Star Fox is being a big deal. Now, I have no doubt that Smash DLC is gonna be at E3. The question now is, if Ryu is in, they will definitely go with Ryu for E3. It's a bigger character than Wolf. It's going to be more recognized worldwide. And not just by gamers or by Nintendo fans. Everybody knows Ryu. He's one of the most iconic video game characters of all time. He's the most iconic fighting game character of all time. And it will be kind of funny to have Ryu on what some people believe to not be a fighting game, even though Smash totally is a fighting game. So, in my opinion, and this is the prediction, if the leak is real, Ryu will be announced at E3. If the leak is not real, then Wolf will be announced at E3. Keep moving forward. The news came out yesterday that Iwata won't be at E3. So we can now kind of assess that E3 2015 is going to be much more like E3 2014, where we're going to have some type of non-Nintendo-ish, more of an entertainment type of presentation and less of a Nintendo Direct presentation from their E3 digital event, much like last year. Last year nobody expected much given the poor 2013 Nintendo Direct, where people believed that it wasn't up to par. And E3 2013, say what you want, it wasn't that great of an E3. The only thing that people remember from E3 2013 is the Mega Man reveal and Sony press conference, which wasn't that great. If you go back and watch, you just see that Sony was being extremely arrogant and pointing and mocking Microsoft for things that Sony would be doing as well. DRM was not something that Microsoft came out and said, hey, let's do DRM. I'm pretty sure that third parties like Ubisoft, Activision, and EA went to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo said, we want DRM on the console. Obviously, Nintendo said no because they like to do things their own way. Sony probably said yes and waited in the wings. And Microsoft said, oh yeah, let's do it, and announced. The moment they announced it, Sony was like, well, people don't like this, let's not put it in. But I'm going way off point. But Iwata not being at E3 leads to the next point, that if he's not going to be at E3, then who's going to host the Nintendo business conference or presentation that's going to happen at the same time that E3 digital event will be? Now, we know from what has been said that it's going to be focusing on launches of throughout 2015 and teasers for products that will be coming in 2016. From Nintendo, we heard that NX, Quality of Life, Zelda, and mobile games won't be at E3. Again, I said this before, I don't believe the NX and Quality of Life would be at E3 anyway, but Zelda and mobile games could very well be in this press event. And maybe even Metroid. The only thing I hope is that if they're going to do this behind closed doors for the press, at least give us the trailers and the teasers later, because I want to see them. I want to see all of them. So let's see. I have bulletin points of what I should talk about, because this is the second time I've recorded this video, and the last time it went horrible. There were problems, and then I listened back and there were a lot of things missing. And now I believe I went through all the bulletin points I had, except for, technically speaking, two. It is two studios that I complete. Oh, and the before I continue, the business presentation will go on that 299 seated theater that I thought that maybe Nintendo 3DS games, new Nintendo 3DS games, I should say, mobile games, Zelda, or even TV and movies would be. By the way, Iwata has basically confirmed that Nintendo is going to do more with his IPs in terms of films and video content, maybe movies and even YouTube. You never know. But practically confirmed movies coming from Nintendo. He said this when it comes to regards of the Universal deal where they're going to do parks and theme parks at Universal will now have themed Nintendo sections. But let's move on from that and go to the two studios that I completely forgot to talk about in my last video. First, let's talk about one that we actually have some information on what they might be working. And that studio is Next Level Games. Next Level Games, a couple months ago, there was a guy working there that said, an animator, said that he, working at Next Level Games, has made them want to buy a Wii U. Obviously, this basically confirmed that we can expect Next Level Games to be working on a Wii U title, because it would make no sense for Next Level to be working on a 3DS game and one of its animators, more animators in the sense of cutscenes, because that's what the guy worked on before, for them to be working on the 3DS and be like, well, you know what, I should really buy a Wii U. It has nothing to do with the game that I'm working on, but I really want to buy one. So would make sense. So Wii U is basically confirmed that's what Next Level Games is working on. But what else could they be working? Not what else, but what could that game be? Well, some of their developers are on LinkedIn, and what some of them had to say was interesting. One of them had that he was working on the online features, basically, of the next game. So we can now assume that the game is going to have online. So working Next Level Games, the games that Next Level Games has worked on for Nintendo, wow, that didn't come out as well as I wanted to. Then again, I've been speaking for 22 minutes and my mouth is starting to, I really am now starting to need it to go take a drink. So I will have to make this a little bit faster. So we're out online. So from the previous games that Next Level Games has worked on, the only one that I believe didn't have online and for a Nintendo console was Punch Out. I do know that Luigi's Mansion had a multiplayer game, but I don't know if it was online or if it was only local. If it was online, then great. If it wasn't, then there's two games that they've utilized, and obviously Strikers on the GameCube. But then again, at the time, not many games utilized online functionalities. And the second bulletin point for Next Level Games is that one of the other people, one of the other developers that is at Next Level Games working on the title, said that he's working on the story of the game. He didn't say he posted on LinkedIn, but that in his new project he was working on the story of the game. So again, what game could they be working on? I mean, Punch Out really didn't have much of a story mode. It had a story mode, it was career mode, but it wasn't really a story. Same thing for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Strikers. So it could be either a new IP or they could be revitalizing an old IP, maybe Star Tropics, like I said, that Nintendo should bring back, or Takumaru's Castle because he was supposed to be in Smash. So the possibilities there are endless, or they could be working on their new original IP. We had Splatoon last year, and the next video I'm going to talk about, I hope they're making a new IP. Wow, my voice cracked a little bit there. But Next Level Games, it's an unknown quantity. The only thing we know, not unknown, we know the unknown quantity is the game itself. We don't know what it is. Wow, I'm really faltering right now. So we only know is that it's for Wii U, it's going to have an online functionality, and it might be focused on story. It's possible, but it's very unlikely, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, it's the other studio I completely forgot, and that's Retro Studios. Retro Studios has worked on, in 15 years, has worked on GameCube games, 2 Wii games, and 1 Wii U game as of right now. They have worked on the Metroid Prime trilogy, 1 and 2 being for the GameCube, 3 being for the Wii, and the 2 Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii and Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. Tropical Freeze it's speculation, obviously, that the team at Retro stopped and finished the game in November 2013. The game was released in February 2014, mainly because it's again speculation that Nintendo needed something between 3D Mario 3D World in November and Mario Kart 8 in May of 2014. So it was roughly 6 months without a game, and they needed something big, and Tropical Freeze would be that game. Now, Retro after that went on and hired a bunch of people that had worked on at Naughty Dog, meaning they worked on the Uncharted games, people that worked on, I believe, Halo, people that worked on Gears of War, so we can expect an online game, maybe a shooter. People are asking for Metroid Prime 4. Personally, I want Retro Studios to do whatever they want. If they want to do Donkey Kong Country 6, do it. If they want to do Metroid Prime 4, do it. If they want to make a rivalize another Nintendo IP, do it. If they want to make their own new IP, do it. I think Retro Studios has proven themselves to be a fantastic developer. I just don't want what people want. I don't want Retro Studios to be forced to work on a game that they don't want to work. For example, Tropical Freeze was the game that Retro Studios, the team at Retro, wanted to make. Yet, people were upset that Nintendo, quote unquote, quote and quote, the next thing, forced Retro to work on Donkey Kong Country, and it was wasted talent. When the team at Retro wanted to work at Donkey Kong, work on Donkey Kong, not at Donkey Kong. So people sometimes don't really know what they're talking about, especially when it comes to Retro Studios. To me, whatever game they make, it's gonna be good. The Metroid Prime trilogy is regarded as one of the best trilogies of all time. Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze are both fantastic titles. Tropical Freeze got slammed in some reviews, and in my opinion and even the one guy at IGN perfectly summed up why Tropical Freeze was not given as much credit as it deserved, especially the soundtrack for the game, is because of one simple fact. It was not Metroid, the game that reviewers would love to see, but sales-wise would have done nothing for the Wii U. Not that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze did anything. I just think that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is severely underrated by the fact that it's not Metroid Prime 4, and people got butthurt over it. I mean, the review from GameStop was horrible. The game is uncreative. It's jump and not die. It was horrible. Actually, GameStop has been having horrible reviews for games from Nintendo. Read their Kirby review or their it was either them or Polygon that had a horrible content, not content. Jesus, what it's called? Review. Wow, the word was escaping me there. For what I think was Codename Steam, and the guy obviously never played games like Codename Steam, so you know. So, and with that, I hope they're working on something different. I think they're working on something different. That's Retro Studios, in my opinion. So that concludes this two-parted video. I should have said this at the beginning, but if you want to see part 1, the link will be in the description. I will most likely do a video on the 21st regarding the Pokemon news, the new game being announced at Famitsu. I will probably also start doing videos before E3 regarding the supposed leaks that happen every year, and I will probably have a good laugh at them. So I'll see you guys most likely in 2 days for Pokemon, and then we'll see what happens. If there are enough leaks for me to do videos, well, probably there will be, there always is. And then I'll do live reactions to E3. I will probably compare to the last two Nintendo Directs, where one of them I was really not was late and I could not really do be very vocal and very emotional because it was almost midnight where I lived. Um, and the Splatoon Nintendo Direct, it was for one game. It was fun. It was good, but it wasn't something that would make me scream from the top of my lungs. I hope I don't scream from the top of my lungs. There's only one thing that would make me lose my mind, and that would be Mega Man being at E3, but I really doubt that's gonna happen. So, and probably what I will end up doing for E3 is that I'm going to divide every video that I have, not video that I have, but everything will be divided into parts. Some highlighted, some parts will be highlighted. That's what I meant to say. I'm really stupid. The video will be uploaded as one entirely, but like if there's a Smash reveal, that's probably going to be its own segment or its own video. But then obviously will be a part of the E3 press digital event live reaction. So I'll see you guys in 2 days.